y'all? What up, SMT Nation? What's happening? Happy Friday, y'all. Music is good. The brother Tana's so lit. Thank you, sir. Yeah, Moose, yeah.
I got that heat, let's go.
Lapu 54. What is up, my brother? Josh, what up, man? Happy Friday to one and all. Thanks for stopping by. Glad you could be here for the show. Happy Friday, Joey. Appreciate you, man. Throw that beat, though. Oh, snap. Master Bill, what up, bruh? Master Bill always coming through, man. Appreciate you, bro. I know you're usually replay crew. Good to see you here for the live, man. Music is a little high. My bad, yo. Turn that down so you can hear me. Oh, yeah. C-Band finally done. That's right. Salamat, Iyad. Good to see you, brother. Hala. Scotty. All my people are here, man. You guys are the best. Thanks for supporting the SMT Productions. Thanks for being here for the show. Got a lot to talk about today. Just waiting for the room to pile up. We got 37 in the live right now. Appreciate you guys. Hashtag 2Live Crew. Hashtag Mod Squad if you got a blue name with the big blue wrench holding it down for me. Protecting the SMT Nation shield. Ron, good to have you, man. D-Gaff, my brother. Yeah. That's right. Man, we got a lot to talk about tonight. There's a lot going on in wireless. I can't pretend like things ever really get quiet. Depending on how deep you get with wireless technology, there's always stuff to uncover. Yeah, hashtag Mod Squad, hashtag Form Voltron. That's right, Mike. All right, let's do this, man. Let's get this show started. All right, so for today's show, hey, Diego, happy weekend to you too. That's right. Gene, good to see you, man. All right, so I do have a loaded show for you guys tonight. It's gonna be packed. There's a lot to go over. I've got a bit of an AT&T recap for the week. A couple things I want to mention. There's a lot of T-Mobile stuff I want to go over. They are the busy carrier, so I want to do that. I want to give my impressions and first thoughts. I got a week of experience with the T-Mobile home internet product. I'll talk about the hardware. I'll talk about the service itself. We'll talk about the value proposition, its cost, and you know how they send out these self-installation kits and everything. I'll take a look at all of it. So that's a big part of today's show. I'm also going to talk about C-Band. The auction has completed, so there's a lot of money that was generated. Estimations have been kind of leaking out, you know, different people, you know, claiming they think they know who spent what. Adam, good to see you, man. Hey, Gene Toe. We'll talk a little bit about predictions of where I think the C-Band ends up for each of the carriers. I mean, there's a lot to cover tonight, so let's go ahead and get that started. Let me know if my audio is good. If I need to turn up the gain to be a little bit louder, by all means, let me know. I have no problem doing that. Just let me know that I'm good to proceed, and we shall move forward. All right. Let's get this video on, right? Sheesh, what are you doing, Sneed? There we go, yeah. Audio is good. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate you. Audio is good. Excellent. All right, awesome. All right, so music off, Sneed speaks. You know, we mean business, you know. Awesome. Thanks for the feedback, my people. All right. The sequence of tonight's show doesn't really matter. It doesn't really, you know, I don't really have like a plan on what I'm doing for a second or third or anything like that. I just want to get through it all, obviously. The first thing that just comes to mind is a little bit of news on AT&T and kind of where things are. So this week for AT&T, and this actually for most of January, and this goes back all the way to last January, AT&T is currently in a position to where everything that they do is really about streamlining their business operations, reducing costs, operational costs, debt, things like that. So because of that, I feel like a lot of that gets overshadowed in what they're actually doing with the network, which they are doing some really good things on the network side. So honestly, Lapu, I am streaming off the T-Mobile home internet. Absolutely. The network, the AT&T network is getting larger and larger. We've got all types of different indications saying that AT&T has surpassed Verizon in overall coverage availability in the country. Well, that's great news. Verizon has been milking that cow for almost 2 decades, right? Verizon coverage, Verizon, the largest LTE network. It's been Verizon. I'm happy to report that all indications are AT&T has more coverage than Verizon based on coverage claims. I can't speak to your region. There are definitely going to be places, here and there where it's different. But AT&T says and claims that they can prove their network is now indeed larger than Verizon's. And if that is the case, that's very refreshing. Would I have liked to have seen it be T-Mobile? Yes. I would have preferred to have seen T-Mobile been the one to take over the coverage. The coverage claim is king, because I said this many, many moons ago. I really wished that T-Mobile would have got the FirstNet contract. That would have been transcendental for their network and their business. But it went to AT&T and all that's in the past. But being that Verizon has milked that cow for so long, it's just good to have a different coverage king. So I'm happy that it is someone other than Verizon. So that's good news. Now, there's other things going on at AT&T that seem to dominate their business. AT&T likes to make people think that they're actually more of a media company. So we're talking about like TV and entertainment and media services. So what I mean by this is, they've got AT&T TV, AT&T TV Now. They've got Warner Studios. They've got a lot of stuff going on. DirecTV with satellite distribution and operations. Alexis, good to see you, man. Oh, snap, Sin City J, what's up, buddy? Good to see you guys. Thanks for stopping by. So they're the biggest company. They have just so many different arms and tentacles of the business. I think the most important thing and the primary thing for AT&T was to somehow, some way streamline their business operations, similar to what Verizon did. What Verizon did was they combined the wireline and the wireless business together. And then they got rid of Go90, and they minimized the whole oath thing with Yahoo and all of that. By streamlining their business, they got leaner. They got more profitable. They reduced operational costs. I think AT&T is in the midst of that. That is probably CEO John Stankey's primary mission for 2021, is streamline the services, try to reduce all of the separate different operations, and just make AT&T a leaner company and try to reduce those costs. The other stuff they're doing makes sense also. Trying, layoffs while they suck, they're trying to reduce their operational costs. They got rid of most of their corporate locations for their wireless stores, and they've gone to this authorized retailer model. That'll reduce their overhead as well. You know what, Lavendi, you're right, but I was just looking at it from the standpoint, get the smaller guy a bigger network. That's kind of what I meant. But like I said, I'm glad to see a different company as the coverage leader. Just fresh meat, a different face, a different name, a different business model. So yeah, I agree with you. I think you're onto something there. That's probably part of it. Yeah, definitely, Vendy. Very, very true. Good angle. So with the moves from this week, AT&T did a couple of really good things. The first thing AT&T did was AT&T changed how they're going to price AT&T TV. Hey, Georgie. AT&T TV Now was a like a streaming version of AT&T TV. They eliminated it. No new customers can get that service. So as of right now, AT&T TV now has 683,000 subscribers, and that's where it's going to stop. So you can no longer call up AT&T or hit the customer care chat and say, I want to add AT&T TV now. You can't do it. So that's going to push everybody to the regular AT&T TV. That's going to push them to HBO Max. It allows AT&T customers to focus on the primary objectives and goals for 2021 of what AT&T wants to do. In my opinion, I think the HBO Max service is good. So I don't think that's a problem that AT&T wants to focus on that. I'm good with that. So I'm actually fine that they want to streamline it. I think the next move is going to be to figure out what you're going to do with DirecTV. Whatever it's going to take, AT&T has to move on from DirecTV. If it means only getting $15 billion back, I know they spent $47 billion on the acquisition, and there was like $20 billion in debt that came with it. But you just got to cut your losses. At some point, you just got to let it go. John Stankey would be wise to learn from his errors, just move on from it, and try to recoup some of that money. Use that $15 billion or whatever it is to reinvest into what makes the company money, which is the wireless network. And, focus on Time Warner being a generator of revenue, because you spent $100 billion on that. You got to start getting return. So I think you could do that here. The focus being AT&T TV and HBO Max, the streaming services. That's very 2021. That's good. They also got rid of TV contracts. So if you sign up for AT&T TV today, you call up AT&T, you get on the Twitter with them, you want to sign up for the service, you do it through the app. Adrian, good to see you. You're not going to have to sign a contract. That's fantastic. Look, I have no idea. Whoever had the notion that AT&T TV needed a contract, a 2-year contract, they should be fired. They should have been fired that day. Customers do not want contracts. They don't want it. We went away from that years ago. Hulu, YouTube TV, all these other TV streaming services, including Netflix and all these other, you don't sign a contract. You pay for the month service, you get the month service. If you stop paying, they disconnect it or suspend the service. There's no contract, there's no credit check, there's no pull on your social security number, none of that nonsense. Hey, Tony Phony Baloney, what's up, Pete? Good to see you. And the worst part about the 2-year contract that AT&T had on their TV service was the fact that the second year ballooned. So your first year, for the first 12 months, you were paying like $70 a month, which is great. For like full-scale cable, it was fantastic. And then it would balloon to $135. People don't want that. Nobody wants a 2-year contract in which the second year you're obligated to pay is double the price of the first year. Nobody wants that. So the fact that they did away with it shows that they are responding. People don't want it, and they kind of went ahead and pivoted. So I'm glad that they were able to make that adjustment. Now AT&T needs to focus on 2 things. Customer care. They need to continue to improve that, make their customers happy, continue to allow them to thrive. AT&T offers good stuff. The wireless network is good. The plans are competitive. I don't think anybody has better phone deals and promotions than AT&T. But they have to advertise it. They have to treat their customers better, and their systems can't fail, like billing, for example. I was talking to Tyrone from Tech Life a couple of weeks ago, and he was telling me that he had been going through the whole rigmarole of a trade-in and a credit on his account, and it had been ongoing for weeks. There should be no billing problems on a person's account for more than that day. If you have a problem with your billing on Monday, it should be handled on Monday. If you call them and sort it out, that should be end of story. The problem with AT&T is you don't know what you're going to get. You sometimes get a good rep. You sometimes get a local domestic rep here in America. They can help you pretty well. But sometimes you end up in the Philippines or you end up in India and there's trouble. They don't know the operations and the systems and the credits. And then you're just going through it with them. And then the other problem is AT&T's systems don't allow the customer care reps to actually be able to help you effectively. So it's a double whammy. You got horrible system operations, and then you have customer care reps who are ill-prepared to do it. Nadeem, Vic, good to see you guys. Personality disorder, good to see you as well. I just feel like the other two companies do those things better. Like Verizon and T-Mobile. Their billing, their customer care seem to be more agile, more responsive. What's up, babe? Hey, Stetson, good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by, bro. One of the reasons why I left Cox Communications, amongst many things, I left my internet service provider last week, and I went to T-Mobile Home Internet. Let me just say this. I did not use or sign up for T-Mobile Home Internet because it's fast. It's actually not that fast, but they do everything else right. Now imagine you're a customer thinking AT&T. They're a company that has amazing service. Their wireless is absolutely tremendous. They have home fiber optic. They have TV services. It's a one-stop shop. It's the triple play. But they have to get the smaller things right, like treating their customers better, dealing with the billing and the systems more seriously, and improving that. And I think that you've got yourself a winner in AT&T. People try to avoid AT&T because of old experiences with customer care problems and billing issues. There are people holding grudges on AT&T from the 1980s, 1990s. Ask Pete. Horror stories from the 2005 on a cell phone bill. So they get those things taken care of. AT&T is one of the most compelling offers in the game. I will be talking about T-Mobile Home Internet a little bit, on this next segment. I think you guys are going to find this interesting. All right, so one thing I have to mention before I tell you guys about my experience with T-Mobile Home Internet and I tell you about the whole setup process and all that. If you are a T-Mobile customer that used to be a Sprint customer, I have bad news for you. Big shout out to my brother Apple Watts. Appreciate it, bro. Thank you for dropping this gem on me, man. If you are a Sprint customer that has been taken in by T-Mobile in the merger, unfortunately, you can't get the T-Mobile Home Internet service at your residence unless you change your plan. I mean, I'm talking phones, lines, all Sprint legacy components on your account. You need to actually do a full migration to the T-Mobile accounts. You need to go on T-Mobile billing, T-Mobile accounts and plans, full T-Mobile services, new SIM cards, the whole shebang. They won't let you do anything with T-Mobile Home Internet if you are a incoming Sprint customer unless you change everything over to T-Mobile. I'm sorry. It sucks. But I think this may be a strategic move on T-Mobile's part to try to get everybody onto T-Mobile systems. And I can't blame them. From a business standpoint, it's very difficult to operate multiple systems, so many different accounts, all the billing that's convoluted. Unfortunately, guys, this is going to be bad for Sprint customers that they can't get the service. I'm sorry to report it, but that's what it is. So I don't know if that's going to cause people to want to leave, because they really wanted to try the T-Mobile Home Internet. I would say create a T-Mobile account, a separate account, if you can find a way to massage it, and then add the T-Mobile Home Internet service so that way your Sprint accounts don't get messed with. Just my 2 cents. Like, if you're trying to find a workaround, like Carlos signed up for it. He's a Sprint customer and he's a T-Mobile customer, so he just added it to his T-Mobile account. So creating a secondary account may be the best option. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate because really what the merger was supposed to do was supposed to make the customers of the two companies happy. Unfortunately, there may be some hiccups along the way that are going to make it challenging. And I'm sorry to report it, but I think that's the case. So just be mindful of that. Now, what I will say is I want to speak to some of my initial experiences. I've had the T-Mobile home internet service for a week now. So I want to tell you about the setup process. I want to also share with you my experiences, the performance, and things like that. Okay, so to get things started on this T-Mobile home internet experiences, I've had the service for exactly 1 week. I think I installed it on Monday. I've had it set up for a full 5 days. And I have some highlights to share with you guys. I am pleasantly surprised with how effective it has been for me. Your experiences may be different. There are people that tell me that it's not good in their experience, and that's totally fine. I want to share with you how it's been for me. Highlights, the good things about the T-Mobile home internet so far. The first thing is the downlink, the download speeds have been fine. My Nokia gateway is the 5G gateway. They just sent it out to me. It has been able to have no issues whatsoever with bandwidth. I know that Lavendi, the Cox Communications thing was terrible, dude. I'm going to speak to that a little bit later. But honestly, I'm getting over 100 megabits per second on average on the Nokia gateway. I'm getting like 120, 130 megabits per second. I'm connected to band 41. I'm connected to an old Sprint tower site that was retained and is still operational on T-Mobile. So that's been kind of nice. Let me just say this. If I wasn't able to connect to the Sprint site, I would be connecting to a band 12 site, which is 5 megahertz of spectrum on the T-Mobile site, which would not be good. I'm not sure about a Stetson. I can't tell if there's any manual controls or selection of bands. I don't know if anybody's figured that piece out, but I haven't been able to. Yeah, same here. I'm running on LTE2 Stetson. Until there's N41, I really don't want any parts of 5G from T-Mobile. I'm not in the business of the skinny channel 5G stuff, personally. So, but the downlink's been good, guys. It's 130 megabits plus. I'm connected to probably 7 devices. I'm running 2 4K TVs. We have the 65-inch LG here in the lab. I have the 75-inch upstairs in the main floor for the wife and the baby. We've got probably 4 or 5 phones that are connected. My daughter's iPad. We're running, a camera system. We have it all. Everything is running on this network, and it's been absolutely tremendous. There have been no speed issues whatsoever on the downlink. I'd also like to throw in as a highlight, it's been consistent. There has been no slowdowns. There has been no throttling. 4K video has been a dream. I have not been restricted in the morning, in the afternoon, or the evening. Yes, Georgie, I'm streaming on T-Mobile. Yes. It's been very consistent. It's been very reliable. I have not felt or noticed any disconnections. It's been very good. No failures, no power downs, no loss of service at all. I will say that it is running on default the 5 gigahertz connection. So upon setup, it'll want to default to that. You may want to consider switching that to 2.4 gigahertz if you have a larger home and you need more range. Or possibly running a secondary router, a mesh system, that could be an option too. So just depends what your application is. In terms of the hardware, it was really easy to set up. I can't lie. The setup process was easy. The only problem I had was the initial password setup, like when I was doing the initial messaging. But that's because I don't have a previous T-Mobile account. So I didn't have like a line to send it to. So it was sending it to the device and it didn't go through, so I had to do it again. It was painless. The setup was easy. I mean, it's so easy that a caveman could do it. I mean, Sneed did it, It's been great. There are so many things that have been good about this service. I'm just happy to report it. So if you have T-Mobile home internet available to you at your address and you're not happy with your home ISP, T-Mobile home internet is worth your consideration. At least some thought. Think about it, mull it over, consider it an option. It's not going to cost you anything to try it. If it doesn't work out for you, you return it. T-Mobile's good like that. They will honor a trial period. I think she said you could try it for like a week or two, and then you send it back. What's up, Mark? The service has been great so far. I know it's early. It's only 1 week, but I don't expect it to change anytime soon. In fact, I really only expect it to get better. Once I start getting N41 upgrades out here in the CLE, it should improve. Let's take a look at some of the lowlights. I have to throw this in there. You know, the SMT Nation appreciates honesty and candor. I have to tell you guys how I really experience it. So let me give you the lowlights of the experience so far, because it's not perfect. The uplink or the upload speeds have been awful. I can't pretend like that's not a problem. The best I've been able to get is 8 megabits per second. Whenever I start to, connect multiple devices, each one gets like 3 to 5. Look, I'm calling a spade a spade. The uplink and my particular application has left a lot to be desired. The latency has been bad. Typically, my ping or latency is around 100 to 110 milliseconds. That's not good. I would much rather see that at least cut in half. 40, 30 milliseconds would be great. I know some people with home ISPs get like ping and latency times of like 5 to 10 milliseconds, which is great. Yeah, I'm on LTE. I'm not on 5G. I'd say an acceptable ping range, if you're not on fiber optic, is probably between 10 and 20 milliseconds. If you're on fiber optic, you're probably looking at like 1 to 5 milliseconds. So I agree, Tom. Yeah, under 20 is probably fine. The issue really becomes in gaming scenarios when you need to connect very quickly. Hey, Mark, if you could please stop spamming the live chat with the same questions over and over again. Mark, please stop spamming. Thank you. The ping has been high. I'd like to see that improve. The jitter's been a little high as well. So, but guys, let me tell you something. The moment I speed tested it and I got 130 megabits per second, I called and canceled Cox Communications. I canceled them immediately. I paid my final bill. I told them I will no longer be needing your services. Thank you, but no thank you. The reason I dropped Cox immediately and why I'm sticking with, T-Mobile home internet is these key things. T-Mobile home internet is fair priced. It's $50. I can afford that. T-Mobile home internet has been reliable. It has been effective. It had self-installation that was easy to set up. And I have no issues whatsoever. No canceling fees on the Cox Stetson. I was paying month to month. I don't do contracts. I wouldn't have even started, service with them if I had to do a contract. That's a non-negotiable for me. I plan on keeping the T-Mobile home internet as long as I have to until I get fiber optic. That is the only way I'm leaving the T-Mobile home internet service. I do expect the service to improve as tower upgrades happen in my area. I'm hoping to be the beneficiary of some of those upgrades. But honestly, I am not leaving T-Mobile home internet until fiber optic is available at my residence and it's fairly priced. So I'm paying $50 now. I'm getting $130 on the downlink. If I get fiber optic for like 300 megabits per second symmetrical and my latencies drop under 5 millisecond and I have unlimited, truly unlimited, not that terabyte nonsense, I will leave T-Mobile home internet service for that. Even if it's like $60 or $70, I'll pay the additional $10, $20 to get fiber optic. I will not leave T-Mobile Home Internet for Cox ever again. Cox is a terrible company. They are horrible at the most essential thing in business. I don't care what anybody tells you. The number one thing in business is happy customers. If your customers are not your priority, your business is going to lose. Customers will find somewhere else to spend money. If they don't like how they're treated, if they're not getting what they're paying for, customers will leave. The grass is greener when it comes to spending money. I would rather take my last dollar and burn it than give it to Cox Communications. That's how horribly they treated me. Cox Communications is a horrible company that treats people like crap, calls them liars, does not serve them properly, collects their money on time, but does not fix the problems associated with their hardware on time. Cox is the worst home internet service provider in America. The worst. Their infrastructure is poor. Their customer service is garbage. I don't even know if their technicians are any good. I couldn't tell based on my hardware. So I don't want to pass judgment, but based on the way that it's performing, something is wrong. I would rather burn my last dollar than give it to Cox Communications for internet. I would rather find a way to hotspot off my phones than give Comcast another to give Cox Communications another dollar. They are the worst. They don't deserve anything from anyone. If you have any other option, please consider otherwise. They don't know how to treat people. They don't know how to properly operate a business. They know they're wrong, but they don't care. I will stick with T-Mobile Home Internet Service because it's reliable. They appreciate my business. They are in business to serve the customer and make money at the same time. That's a win-win situation. I don't think you guys understand. Everybody can win in business. The person selling the services and the goods can win by profiting, and the customers can win by getting what they paid for. In a good business, everybody wins. You don't have to steal from people to make money. You don't have to play people to make money. Apparently, Cox doesn't get it. I'm telling you, the moment T-Mobile Home Internet became available in my area, I switched to T-Mobile Home Internet to leave Cox. I would rather have DSL than Cox. I don't care. And they will never get another dollar out of me ever again. And honestly, if T-Mobile Home Internet isn't available to you, hopefully there's help on the way and it becomes available. But if it doesn't, I really hope Starlink makes its way to your area as well. Yep. So, T-Mobile Home Internet is a winner. $50, that's an out the door. They didn't charge me installation. They just sent me the kit. They didn't charge me for the kit. They didn't charge me for hardware. They didn't even charge my card for the service until the end of the month because it's on a postpaid. Yes, $50 with autopay, $55 without autopay. It's absolutely tremendous. It's as fair as it can get. It's fair. It is absolutely tremendous, Stetson. My name is Sneed Mobile Tech, and I approve T-Mobile Home Internet. Can somebody screenshot that or video record that, please? Any of you guys have iPhones or whatever, if you're watching this, please do a video screen recording right now. I'm going to give you time to launch your app. Please do this. I'm about to say it again so you guys can frickin' promote the crap out of this. Are you guys ready for this? Get ready to record. My name is Sneed Mobile Tech, and I approve T-Mobile Home Internet. That's all you guys need to know. All you got to do is make sure that it's available in your area, and you need to also make sure that a tower site is near your house so that you can have that capacity that you need. Because in my opinion, it's fair, it's reliable, and you're getting what you're paying for. What else do you want better than that? Seriously, What do you, as a customer, what else could you ask for? Share it on Twitter, please. And tag me. All right. Next topic, let's stick with T-Mobile. Let's take a look at some network stuff here. T-Mobile has inked a deal on network-based infrastructure. This is an extension with Ericsson, in my opinion, the best vendor that is available to offer these types of solutions for network, home wireless network providers. This is a multi-billion-dollar deal. I was not able to get the exact amount. But, yeah, it looks like we got a 5G network build initiative that is going to require multiple vendors. So Nokia, Ericsson, I'm guessing Samsung is going to get into the fold as well. Obviously, I like Ericsson. I think Ericsson is the best option. Just so you guys know, if you're in an Ericsson market for T-Mobile, your service is probably really good. There's that much of a difference between Nokia and Ericsson. That's why I like this deal so much. The deal is a 5-year deal. It includes hardware solutions, software solutions. So we're talking about radios, base stations, all the tower equipment, stuff like that. T-Mobile is calling their 2.5 gigahertz N41 ultra capacity. That's not really accurate, but that's what they call it. In my opinion, ultra capacity needs really, really wide channels, 200, 400, 800 megahertz. This is not that, but whatever. Anyways, it looks like T-Mobile is going to kind of be running this Nokia Ericsson tandem for their network operations. Ericsson is probably going to be the capacity. They're going to squeeze the most capacity out of what T-Mobile has in terms of its spectrum. So to make this the case, I feel like you're going to see a lot of technology improvements in like MIMO technologies with Ericsson on the tower sites. I think the beamforming, the high power user equipment side of things is going to improve. Expect big things from T-Mobile as they build out through Ericsson. I can't say the same thing about the Nokia side. So this deal obviously is huge and it's good news, but T-Mobile's still going to rely on Nokia for a lot of the infrastructure and the software side as well. So it looks, and I'm kind of sensing it, T-Mobile is utilizing Nokia to save money. T-Mobile is utilizing Nokia probably for its core operations, and it's probably using it for its coverage. I just don't know if Nokia is going to be able to do what Ericsson can do when it comes to spectral efficiency. Ericsson is probably going to allow T-Mobile to squeeze more out of its 2.5 gigahertz. So like range, Ericsson equipment and software solutions are probably going to be better than Nokia. Capacity, Ericsson will probably be better than Nokia. So overall, I think, and also like beamforming and these other technologies, I just think that the Ericsson component of the T-Mobile network is going to be that much better than Nokia. And I really think that T-Mobile probably should stray away from Nokia a little bit. I think they need to focus on Ericsson because Ericsson will enable them to do more with what they have. Imagine getting 2 squeezes out of a lemon. Much better than a single squeeze. Right? If you can get more juice out of lemon, you do that. That's essentially what Ericsson can do. Nokia could still be a player because of the money savings. Maybe they help them with the coverage piece with the N71 and stuff like that. But honestly, it's more about Ericsson for me. I'm more excited about what they bring to the table as a vendor to help T-Mobile improve their 5G builds. Obviously, I think the network slicing piece is going to be a big thing because of the network core operations with Nokia. But I think like with the advanced MIMO technologies, that's going to be an Ericsson special. So I don't know what it means that this is a 5-year deal for Ericsson, and I don't know exactly what the numbers are like for the Nokia side for T-Mobile, but I would like to see an emphasis of Ericsson over Nokia for T-Mobile personally. Also, I mean, we got to see backhaul upgrades, right? So, you know, Ericsson can build all types of great solutions. They could do anything, right? But T-Mobile's going to have to spend on backhaul upgrades. They're going to have to really push the spectrum, right? So that's going to be an expensive, investment this year moving into next year, especially if they're going to claim that N41 is going to be ultra capacity. You're going to have to really push the spectrum. So you're going to have to upgrade backhaul. You're really going to have to leverage all the technologies that Ericsson can bring you. I really think they're going to be the most important part. You are blessed if your carrier has Ericsson equipment in your market. That's all I'm going to say. Because I have an AT&T line, and there are times where my uplink is just not very good. And most indications is that it's because it's a Nokia market. The uplink just doesn't perform well here. Because I have friends who live in markets where AT&T has Ericsson equipment, and the uplink is absolutely tremendous. The same thing goes for T-Mobile. Where they have Ericsson equipment, it seems much better. So if you enjoy your T-Mobile service, that may be why. It's that noticeable, apparently. So, yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in there. So that's a big deal there. Let's wrap up the show with this last piece. This one coming out of the C-band auction. Thank goodness it is finally done. I want to kind of conclude all the coverage on it and tell you guys everything that I know as of right now. I want to first give a big shout out to someone I follow on Twitter who offers a wealth of knowledge and information. Big shout out to Walt Pychek over on Twitter. You guys can check him out. His Twitter handle, I think, is his name. He's a contributor to Light Reading. Dude is a stud when it comes to the networks and the providers. Dude, he's a great follow. Tells it like it is, shoots straight. I totally appreciate everything he does. And, he's fantastic. All right, so check him out on Twitter and give him a read on Lightshed Reading. C-band is done. Thank goodness. C-band, it's a wrap. 280 megahertz of 3.7 gigahertz Goldilocks 5G spectrum. Look, this stuff is going to be a big piece of capacity for a long time. It's going to really usher in high-capacity 5G networking for all the carriers, Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T. The total bidding had generated almost $81 billion. 97 rounds of bidding. Looks like we were going to hit over 100 billion in bids, but it really slowed down, lost a lot of steam at the end. So I think Verizon got the most, Austin, honestly. I'll kind of talk about that in my wrap up here at the end. All right, so I don't know. I think a lot of people thought I was going to hit 100 billion once we got to 50 in the first 2 weeks. So honestly, I'm kind of surprised it didn't hit the 100 billion in bids. It did exceed 100 billion when you consider closing costs, though, or clearing costs, I should say. All right, so 0.942, so almost $1 per megahertz pop. Conservative estimates predicted that C-band was going to generate $25 billion. Some people on the high end said it was going to generate $50 billion. It essentially doubled both of the $50 billion mark, right? It got to 81 with clearing costs. It pushes $100 billion. For comparison, CBRS had a per megahertz pop value of 0.217, which is over 4 times less, right? So that is absolutely incredible, right? To see the difference of what carriers thought about C-band compared to CBRS and that auction in the summer, right? The A block, which is the primary first auction blocks of spectrum that the C-band auction had, generated over $23 billion. Add in the $13+ billion in clearing costs, we're looking at about $36 billion in Block A. Right? So almost half was generated in 1/3 of the spectrum auction. Okay, so why do I bring up Block A? Block A is going to be crucial because it gets deployed in 2021. It's the first C-band to clear. All right. Los Angeles, New York City, Chicago, Houston, Miami, Philly, San Francisco, Boston, these larger markets are going to be crucial Block A cities. instant upgrades to those towns. If you're in New York City, you're getting C-band immediately from all carriers. If you're in Houston, if you're in Miami, if you're in LA especially, it's going to be a massive upgrade. It's going to be game-changing. You're not even going to probably be able to recognize Verizon or AT&T in New York City after these upgrades. You're going to say, what just happened to my service? This is incredible, right? It's going to be a game changer in those types of markets where tower density is high. It's going to be absolutely a boom to the downlink speed and the uplink as well. I do believe that the B and C blocks generated somewhere of like $50 billion combined, right? So like 40 something. Anyways, Verizon is estimated to have spent over $30 billion. I'm assuming that with clearing costs, that number is probably closer to $40 billion. I'm thinking. I think Verizon spent a lot. I think also Verizon spent a lot specifically on Block A, right? Because it's available so soon, right? Because it's available immediately and they can clear it from satellite operators and get it out there pretty quick. So it had a lot of value and it generated a lot of money. The AT&T estimates were that they probably were the number 2 spender and they probably spent somewhere around $20 billion. I personally think they spent a little bit more. I think initially they wanted to spend between 15 and 20 billion, but after that initial surge in bidding, I think this probably took them closer to 25 billion. Don't be surprised if AT&T had to spend 30 billion because of certain markets. It might happen. T-Mobile expectations, I don't know. They probably spent, somewhere around 10 billion. I think that was the estimate. Some said not even that much. But in my opinion, they appear to want to stay ahead in the spectrum holdings. They want to stay a free spectrum leader. They want to have that advantage. So don't be surprised if their number is closer to 15 billion. They were just able to pull, I think, $5 billion in loans, and I think they sold some senior notes. So that being the case, think about the timing. I think they probably may have spent more than they wanted to. Possibly, 15 billion, which is probably 50% more than they wanted to. All right, now where things get interesting is there are rumblings that big cable, Charter, Comcast, were bidding big and had potentially spent over 20 billion. No way. No way. Why would they do that? If they did do that, I mean, it's not out of the realms of possibility, but it's just unlikely. If they did do it, it's really only 2 things. Number 1, they're trying to block wireless providers from getting it. They may be saying by bidding and taking that, we're not going to let you have fixed home wireless service. We're going to block you from getting the spectrum you need to do that. Maybe. I don't know. Business is vicious. Which, by the way, if you think about it, if Charter and Comcast bid on spectrum just to block AT&T and Verizon and T-Mobile, it goes to show you how evil they are. But all's fair in love and war and business. And could you imagine how much that hurts customers? We want another option. Imagine Verizon knocked on your door with a flyer and said, we can give you 500 megabits per second down, 100 megabits per second up for $50 a month. Your home ISP would be done, right? Especially if they treated you poorly and overcharged you for service or gave you bad service. You would leave. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that Charter and Spectrum wanted to just block these wireless providers from getting enough spectrum to do fixed home wireless. I would not be surprised. It doesn't make sense otherwise for Comcast and Charter to buy wireless spectrum to operate networks they don't have. They don't have wireless towers. They have hotspots in certain places, but they don't have a wireless network. So it doesn't really make sense for them to go into a business that's so cutthroat, so mature. It just doesn't make sense. So if they did bid on a lot of spectrum, it was simply to block, in my opinion. Dish? I don't know. No indications on how much they spent. Some people are estimating $5 billion. Some people are estimating 10 billion. I don't know, maybe. I'm kind of leaning on the 5 billion for Dish. I don't know how much money they have. They said they wanted to build out a 5G network with $10 billion, and be nationwide. I don't know. I don't know if that's possible. Who knows? We shall see. But I do hope they got some. At least 20 to 40 megahertz in most places they need it. Stetson, that's a good question. What are they doing? Apparently, a few months ago, they built a cell phone tower in Colorado. But that appears to be the first of its kind and the only one as of right now, a 5G tower in Colorado. Go ahead and Google it. You could see it. It's there. They got like 5 Dish employees standing in front of it. So check it out. We shall see. We'll know the results really soon. You guys know I'm going to keep you updated. I'm going to bring you that info. Keep it locked and stay tuned to the channel. I'm expecting that information very, very soon. Probably within a couple of weeks. I think before the end of January, we should know how much money each carrier spent. So Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, whether they hit 40 or 50 or 30 billion, whatever the case may be, we'll know how much spectrum they bought, how much they spent, and also, and this is probably the most important thing. See, it's obviously we want to know how much they spent, and we want to know how many megahertz of spectrum they got. But it's really about where they got it. Because where they have it means that it could be coming to you. So if Austin has AT&T, and AT&T got 80 megahertz of C-band in his market, he's got to be thrilled. He's going to, oh my goodness, I'm going to have, 500 megabits per second for video usage. Oh my God, I'm going to be able to do 4K on my phone, right? Stetson's going to be looking at Longmont. What did T-Mobile do? What did Verizon do? He tests all these networks. He can then know what type of capacity is coming his way, right? Or what's coming to Vegas for Carlos, or what's coming to, TomTom and his market, or whoever the case may be. You want to know which carriers got which frequencies of spectrum. Exactly. Phoenix, right, Rubes? Phoenix is a major cellular market. Verizon could use support there. AT&T, T-Mobile, they're big time there. Big time. Josh, Sacramento. Sacramento's a big time market for wireless. In fact, I want to say that C-band went real big in Sacramento. So I'm really excited about C-band. It is going to usher in a new capacity element to wireless networking. 5G really doesn't get real until spectrum comes to the networks. Carter brings up the point. It's coming to Murray County. What do you want better than that? Could you imagine if I know Carter has 2 different lines. Carter's got AT&T and he has T-Mobile. What if T-Mobile got 20 megahertz in Murray County? And what if AT&T got 60 or 80? Absolutely tremendous. His network experience is going to be completely renovated. It's going to be like a totally new, it's like getting a new house. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait to find out who it is. I will keep you guys posted. Keep it locked. Stay tuned to the SMT YouTube channel. If it's your first time here, you're definitely going to want to subscribe. Activate the bell notification icon so you never miss anything from the SMT and the SMT Nation. Very, very exciting time. Super, super psyched for that. That's it for tonight's show, really. I didn't want to cover anything else for now. I may do a show on Sunday night, so be on the lookout for that. I'll definitely, let everybody know and notify. And if you haven't done so already, check me out on Twitter, at SneedTech on the Twitter handle. I tweet out any videos that I make and anytime I do go live. So do check that out. Let's go ahead and say our goodbyes and our good nights to everyone, for everybody that's here. Again, subscribe if you're new to the channel. First time here, become a member of the SMT Nation and be a part of this amazing group of good people who love wireless network technologies. Big shout out to Lavendi. Appreciate you, bro. I want to also give a shout out to the patrons over on Patreon. Thank you, SMT patrons, for your continued support. If you want to become a member of that community, there's a link down in the description box for that. Do check it out. That's really it for tonight. Thank you again. You guys are the best part of the SMT YouTube channel. You, the community, the viewers, those that watch and support, those that like my videos and share them to Twitter and all their social medias. Thank you guys for everything. Hashtag Mod Squad, hashtag 2Live Crew, hashtag Replay Crew, and if you're eating or you're hungry, hashtag Ravioli Gang. You guys are amazing. Thank you, SMT Nation. I appreciate you being here to be a part of the show. Hope to see you soon on the next one. Take it easy, be safe out there, and peace. Yeah.